Hi, this is Maurice. Maurice was diagnosed with a brain tumour in 2009, and the tumour was situated behind his eye, causing pressure on the optic nerve and causing a lot of distorted vision. You were scheduled, I think, for an operation maybe a couple of months after you came to me.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, I think you contacted me about some healing just prior to the operation. And I think then during the operation the surgeons removed part of a tumour which was about the size of a chestnut, perhaps. And they removed a percentage of that tumour because if they went any further in there, there would have been serious brain damage. Now, in the aftermath, if I remember correctly, of the operation, your brother Joe contacted me because there was excessive bleeding, and he wondered would I be able to stop the bleeding, which I did, using of course an old Irish method, and I believe it worked very well, because Joe contacted me later that evening and said that the bleeding had stopped and you were comfortable. Days later, if I remember correctly, there was a further operation carried out, resulting in serious side effects, including renal and liver failure. Would that be right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
So your family were called in, and after the operation, to discuss your future, which looked bleak, I think, at the time. What did the surgeons say to your family?
They said that I had kidney failure and liver failure, and in simple terms, they told my wife I was dying.
Really? Yes. And of course you weren't obviously conscious at this stage. You were obviously sedated and what have you, and I visited you in the hospital on, I think it was one of your family contacted me, and I called to you in the hospital, and my God, I was shocked. I was shocked to see the amount of fluid, and body was appeared to be in renal failure, which was probably confirmed by some of the staff. And after that visit, I think maybe a day or two later, during recovery, you were looking for breakfast. Was that right?
That's correct. The following morning I woke up and I thought I was just after the operation, that I woke up after an hour or two, and I asked the nurse if it was okay if I had a bit of breakfast.
What did you say?
She looked at me in absolute amazement.
Yeah, a bit of breakfast for someone who's after having 2 operations, and now he's hungry.
Yes.
What did they say after that? They called you what?
the miracle boy.
The miracle boy.
Yes.
Well, you're, I think, still a miracle boy. And this is 8 or 9 or 10 years later. Now, okay, since those first operations 9 or 10 years ago, other operations were suggested because of apparent pressure on the optic nerve. Did you notice that pressure? Did you notice any failure in your vision or anything like that?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I felt my vision was as good as ever has been.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
And what did the doctors think of all that? They said that, okay, there's going to be, we didn't get the full tumour, there's going to be further growth and further pressure on the optic nerve, which will cause perhaps blindness. Or
Correct. They felt that if I didn't have the operation, that it was a possibility that I would lose my sight in either one or both eyes.
really?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, your sight is pretty good at the moment, I think, Maurice.
Never was as good.
Yeah. And you had no further operation since?
I had not. None.
Well, that's an amazing story.
Yes, it is.
But this is not a story as such. This happened. This is the truth as it happened.
Correct.
And we're delighted that you're here to tell the tale. Wasn't there another little issue, Maurice, to do with a scan? Did you have a private scan? And
Yes, I did. And I took it to the doctor.
yeah,
And they compared the previous scan that I did through the hospital and the private scan that I had, and they found no difference, no growth. Things were exactly as they were.
okay, okay, right. Well, yeah, and you went for the result of that scan as well, and there was a little bit of a problem with the computers.
That's correct. The computers was down, and they would have been unable to read the scan with the computers down.
But that seems rather strange.
Very strange.
And did you ever get the results of your scan?
No,
A private one that you had already paid for?
no, I did
Okay.
not.
Okay, well, there was a further little problem developed here a couple of years ago. Would that be right?
Correct.
Wasn't there a little problem here with this?
Yes.
Your nose?
Yes, I had a malignant melanoma
Yeah.
when I went to the doctor.
And this was here on this side of your
correct.
nose?
Yes, just
Would
there.
you turn that side of your nose more to the camera there? Yeah. Okay, and doctors suggested an operation here.
Yes, to have it removed.
Right, okay, and so when they're going to remove an area of your nose and then do a cosmetic
Yes.
surgery later.
Correct.
But we did some work on that little tumour. It was only about the size of a hawthorn. If you split a hawthorn, say, in the middle, and put, that would be about the size.
Correct.
And so we did a little bit of work on that as well, and you've had no further operation, and it disappeared.
Correct. As if it never happened at all.
Yeah. Well, yours is a success story, and we thank the good Lord for
Yes.
everything that happened during those troubled times.
Yes.
And we're delighted now that you have the faith and the courage to help others, and you're quite well known to a lot of people down in Athlone and that part of the world, all over Ireland in fact.
Well, super, I suppose that, yes.
And your lovely wife Leonie and your good self, of course, you're both devoting your full attention to helping others,
Yes.
which is wonderful, and we all appreciate it so much. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you on the first Thursday of the next month, and we look forward to the lovely tea and cakes and everything, and they tell us that you're the best waiter this side of Texas.
Getting better every day. Thank you very much indeed.
God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, folks.